Welcome to the Online Entrepreneur Experience podcast that details the ins and outs, the how-tos, and the ups and downs of living a life of an online business owner.
Welcome back to another episode of the Online Entrepreneur Experience. I'm Dueces, and of course, as always, my partner in crime, Mr. Mark Wilson, aka the Viking marketer.
In the flesh.
I'm rocking the lumberjack look today. How do you like it?
Oh, it looks like A+ Canadian right there, bro.
Yeah, buddy. We got snow on the ground. I went up, cut my Christmas tree just like I promised last week, and it was awesome. It was amazing. So this week, you guys, what I want to talk to you about is my personal blueprint of how I reach heights I've never thought possible before with my own, what I call my 4 pillars to success. 4 of them. Bam. So what I'd like you guys to do is always like it, love it, comment, put a review, share it, show us some love. You know how much we appreciate that. And what do you say? Let's get into it.
Bro, I'm ready to rock, man. I'm ready to rock.
Right on. So without further ado, we'll just jump right into it here. And pillar number 1, my very first pillar is planning. And to me, planning is by far the biggest and most important pillar. So that's why we always start with that one.
I love it.
Would you agree?
Oh, 100%, man. Like it's just like everything. You don't go to the grocery store without knowing why you're going to the grocery store. You don't jump in your car, start it up, and start driving down the road. I wonder where I'm gonna go this drive. No, you don't do that unless it's Rene late at night, and then he does that. But he has a different purpose. Thought that, but that's it. Like we don't do things in regular life without having a plan. So why would you start a month, a week, a day, a business, or any of those kind of things without a plan and expect you to have success? I think that is the number one misconception that happens with people that are looking for success or like to build wealth is just the thought that they don't need a plan. They don't need to know what they're about to go do or why they're about to go do it, but yet they just, it's going to be successful for you, right?
Yeah, they're just winging it, just winging life, you know?
That only happens on a boys' night, bro. Like that's the only time that when you do it's okay is on a boys' night, right?
That's right. So when we're talking about planning, I thought of this analogy on my drive today because yes, I do drive aimlessly sometimes. It helps me clear my head. I listen to podcasts and all that stuff. Anyway, that's a story for another day. The analogy that I thought of is like if you look at the 4 pillars as a big tree, like a big oak tree. Planning is the trunk because you're not going to, all the other pillars aren't going to mean anything unless you have a good solid trunk, which is planning. And honestly, Dale Carnegie said it best. He said 1 hour of planning will save you 10 hours of doing. So that's huge. That's massive. So it's worth the time it takes to write out a good plan, even if it takes you a month, because what's a month compared to a lifetime of success?
100%, man. Like, and honestly, like, even if you took a month to write out a plan and then you have 11 months to execute that plan on, like, you're living life and loving it, right? Like, that's past tense. Now you get the full pretense, like in your future, like of success, right? So, I mean, so many people, they just think of the day to day and everything. And I think that's so profound what Mr. Carnegie said. And I love that you pulled out that quote because it is such a huge one because often I won't have a plan and then I won't know what I'm going to go do next. And then I waste time. I'm sit there at my desk, twiddling my thumbs and stuff like that. And if I don't know what I'm going to do next, if I didn't make a plan, then I've just wasted half an hour, sometimes an hour. You know, you pop on TikTok, baby, and that's just a wormhole of its own. And, that's so fun because if you don't know what you're doing, like Rene was saying, like you do aimless tasks that don't coordinate with your objective at the end, right?
That's exactly right. And I found the best way to start your plan is to know where you want to be and figure out why you want to be there. because that will help bring emotion into your plan building. And when you have that emotion built right into your plan, that is when you get excited about it. And it's so much easier to reach those small little, we talked about it last week, those little micro goals. It's so much easier to hit those when you are passionate and excited about it.
100%. You just don't want to get super obsessed like we do with some things. That's not good. But passion is good. Obsessiveness, maybe not as good.
No, probably not. Probably not. So the second pillar of the 4 pillars is priority. And this is the second biggest one, because you can have the best plan in the world, but if you're not making it a priority to reach those micro goals, you're dead in the water. You're dead in the water. You're not going to reach any goal without making those micro goals, or even a small to-do list that you make as part of your plan. If you're not making that a priority, you're not going anywhere.
No, 100%. Like in the end of the day, like I love to say the saying, your energy flows where your focus goes, right? So if something's not a priority, you're not going to put energy there, and then your focus isn't going to be there, and then you're going to get no results from there. And so often, more so than like time management, energy management, I think is a massive thing, because if you're putting your energy in the wrong places and your focus is in the wrong places, you're going to do all this type of stuff. And I often see this, and I don't mean to call my wife out on this, but I often see this, like she has different goals and stuff like that, but all of a sudden she spends 2 hours on the phone with her friends, and then she's like, oh, I've been so busy. I'm like, no, you haven't. You've been talking to your friends for 2 hours.
Yes.
So she exudes a bunch of energy, and like she was really busy, but just not on the things that matter. And I feel like so often we're like, oh, we're really busy, but it's not on the things that we should be prioritizing. It's on the bullshit that ends up coming into life, right?
Yeah. I mean, everyone's probably heard of time management. There's hundreds of books written about it, and there's like day timers and everything to help keep track of your time, but nobody keeps track of their energy. So I love that concept. That's actually the first time I've heard you say that, is energy management. And I think that's profound, because you could be busy like your wife. Sorry, Karen. Don't want to put you on blast yet again, but it's just like setting your priorities of which one gets your energy, because the fun stuff that, like TikTok, scrolling through TikTok and getting in that wormhole, that's an energy waster. It's a time waster, but it's entertaining when you could be using that time and energy towards something that is in line with your goals.
100%. And people, I think everyone gets this concept, by the end of the day, their energy is just drained out of them. And then they want to go do other things and whatnot. And you look back on your whole day, it's just like, oh man, I exuded all this energy in all these different places. And it's just like, well, when are you the most energized to be able to prioritize? And that's when you should be doing your tasks. So let's just say you come home from your day job or whatever it is, and you need to get some stuff done, and you're energized when you're coming home from work, but 3 hours after you come home from work, you're not energized. When should you be doing those prioritized tasks? When your energy levels are at its heightened state.
Yeah.
Like I found, like I was going by like other people's schedules and stuff, and when I used to go by other people's schedules, I would end up having to do different tasks that were like needle moving tasks for myself, and I would do them in the time periods that I had no energy. So it'd be like 9 o'clock at night, I'd be like dead tired, and I'm trying to be creative. I was just like, that's not going to happen. Like that's not the time that you can be creative. So it's just like managing that energy levels and managing your concentration to the times that are going to be best executed as well, right?
Yeah. And when it's late at night, this is what I do, because I'm kind of a nerd, but I hop on Canva and I play around on some of the features on Canva. That's one of my favorite programs for creating really visually engaging photos, for whether it's for content or even for my wife's business or whatever. But I like to find new hidden little secrets. So I'll be dead tired with just playing around on Canva, but it's kind of needle moving because it's learning. But
no, 100%. And you can do that, but it's like, it's in that time period where it's like you have no like time restraints or any of those type of things. You get to decide when that time's over. You get to do those things, and all this extra stuff is just extra. It's not like these are the prioritized tasks that you have in your day. Like that's when it's just like, these are extra things that can move the needle and help me have more success. But if I don't get it done, I don't get it done. It's not like it's going to create more stress or less stress in your life by getting this stuff done. It's just, it'll help you make more success in your life and wealth in your life from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's great that you said, having that time to just relax and think, and it may not be the priority, but priorities change throughout the day. And a lot of times you don't even have control over how the priority is going to change. But that's why having that emotion in your plan to begin with will help you always come back to what the priority is, as far as your business, fitness goals, personal life, relationship goals, whatever. So that's why I like to have that emotion in there.
I love it. Can I add just one other thought to that before we move on to the next pillar?
Yes, of course.
So like, and I just want to put it into really like bite-sized digestible forms for you guys. And I think that you guys should understand this. So for me, like, I know for myself, my own like energy priorities and all that good stuff, that that if I decide that I'm going to go to the gym, I have to do it first thing in the morning. Because to me, as much as I do love to go to the gym and I love the results that I get, the thought of going to the gym is never fun for me. So if I decide that I'm going to go to the gym at night, like 10 out of 10, I'm not going to the gym. So that's why I have to wake up with my purpose and my priority being, wake up for an hour and then go to the gym. And if I don't do that, I know I'm not going to go to the gym for the day. So just to make it really easy for you guys, and like, you have your goals, and one of my goals is to go to the gym 6 days a week. I'm not a certified freak like Rene that goes 7 days a week, but I
have to. Got to try to catch up to you, buddy.
But that's my goals, is to go 6 days a week. So I know like my boundaries, my energy levels, and certain other things. I wake up before the rest of my family wakes up, because I know that I'm going to get me time that's going to be really, really important to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's what it's all about, is knowing yourself and your own energy levels, and knowing what is priority in your life. And as long as it fits with your plan of reaching a certain goal, starting an online business, making 15K a month, 20K a month, if that is your goal, make it a priority and put it into your schedule, just like how Mark put in his workout schedule first thing in the morning, because he knows if it's later, he's not going. So that's a huge tip. Huge pro tip.
I love that.
Okay, so the third pillar is practice, because nobody gets it right the first time. You have to keep trying, keep practicing and going and pushing forward. This is a great saying, and unfortunately the author was unknown of this quote. So I'd like to take credit for it, but I'm just not that kind of guy. So the quote is, don't practice till you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. And that is profound. Like, it's huge difference between the two. So I wish I came up with that, but I didn't.
Bro, I certainly love that though, because, I go through stuff all the time, and I public speak, and I get on calls all day, every day, amping people up, helping them find more success, all that type of stuff. And usually my first thought is the best. And then people, if I'm not recording it, people will ask me after I get off the call with them, they'll be like, "Oh, what did you say again for that answer? It was so good." And I'll be like, "I don't remember." So then I'm like trying to like recreate it and then overthink in my head. But it's because obviously on those ones, they're not muscle memory enough that I have practiced it enough to always get it right. I will get it wrong sometimes. So, I mean, as much as you can get it right the majority of the time, you got to practice till you get it wrong.
Yeah. Until you can't get it wrong.
I missed the word there. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
But go on.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I just want to say one other thing on this. There's, in so many other industries and so many other ways of life, practice is mandatory. So if you've ever played sports in your life, It is freaking mandatory. You have to show up for practice every day. And guess what? On most sports and most activities, you have to practice like 5 to 10 times more than you play games. Like you have to practice even when you're not even going to play a game for like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. You're not even going to play a game for, but you still have to practice. You still got to get yourself prepared. So like even in like say martial arts and stuff like that, your goal is to go get that next belt. And if you're doing that, you have to constantly practice. You show up every single week to the dojo. You're putting your skills and everything like that until you can break those boards. I think that's how it goes. I don't know. I'm not into martial arts. But just an example, it's just you have to put in this practice. But all of a sudden it comes to business and work. You're like, nah, I don't have to put in practice. Why do I have to put in practice? Like, what is practice? Like I jumped on calls with the people that like work for me today, and they were setting up mock calls with me so they could get their skills more refined and get better at it. They're already professionals, but they want to get better. And that's the mindset that you need to have behind that practice. You have to get better and be willing to do those things that are uncomfortable so you can be comfortable, right?
100%. And it's funny that you started talking about sports because that's where I wanted to take it. Is because you get players like Alex Ovechkin. He's not one of the best players in the league today. Be out of fluke. He didn't just automatically pick up a stick and was just amazing at it continuously for however many years he's been playing. What he did is he said, I want to be a hockey player. He got a mentor and a coach, and he practiced every day. And now look at his success. And I mean, you can go back and look at any sports figure like Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan, whoever.
I love Kobe Bryant the most out of all those kind of people that like his kind of stories with it. It's just great.
Yeah. Kobe Bryant is a beast when it came to the way he worked out and his mentality with his practice. The guy was insane.
Yeah.
However,
people want to be the best, but they're not willing to put in more work than the best. And it's just like, if you want to be more successful, like than say like me, you have to work harder than me. You can't work less hard than me. You can't practice less than me and then be like, yeah, I'm going to be better than you. Cool, man, bring it. But I'm going to outwork you. And it's just one of those things. Until you outwork me, I'm going to be better than you. And I love a good challenge. Rene knows this.
Yeah, 100%. So going along with the sports, I think your Eagles should watch this podcast.
Yeah, they maybe need to put in a couple more sessions in there. Yeah, maybe get some more reps.
Yeah, that's. I was thinking about that for a while. I had that one in my
like,
back
do I
pocket.
dig him on this? Will he laugh or cry? I'm not sure. I don't mind either one.
Either way, we're gonna get a reaction. So the fourth and final pillar is by no stretch of the means one of the smaller ones. It's persistence, because as you're practicing, you are going to come across haters, naysayers, things that just don't work, and they're failing. I'll use that, failing. But that's when your persistence kicks in and you look past all the negativity because you have your goal, you made it a priority, and you are practicing it, that the negativity doesn't faze you and you just keep persisting forward towards your goal. Make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I think so many people put too much impact into other people's thoughts and feelings about their goals. Like, a lot of people can't even see your goals. Like, I tell most people what my goals are, and it like their eyes just glaze over. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about, Mark. Like, those things probably won't happen for you. That's cool, bro. You know, keep trucking along. And it's just like, I don't need them to like understand. If they're interested in what I'm doing and where I want to go, I'll tell them. I have no problem. I'll scream from the mountaintop. I don't care if people are like, hate on me, bro, you didn't hit that yet. I'd be like, no, it's okay. Just wait till like 6 more months. I'll be there. But in the end of the day, they have to be to you important. It doesn't matter if your mom or dad or significant other or best friend or friends or coworkers or any of those things, like, get what your goals are. None of that stuff should be a priority to you because they don't live your life. just like their goals shouldn't matter to you. If they had goals of becoming the most fit human being in the world, you shouldn't ever hate on that person. You should be like, that's an amazing goal, man. I'm super proud that you're committed to that. If there's anything I can do to support you, that's what you should do. But the problem is the world isn't like that. The world is like, you're going to be healthy. I'm not healthy, so I'm going to tear you down because I have my own insecurities. And what you have to do is just laugh at that and be like, yeah, you're clearly insecure. I'm not, and I'm going to get healthy.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, with the persistence, you've said it best. I mean, other people's goals should matter to you and your goals should matter to other people. However, when you do have a big group of people, like-minded individuals coming together and they are supporting you, even if you fail, they kind of reach down. It's okay, bud. Come on. Pick you up by your hand. This way. You got to go this way.
I could just see you picking up Dax, man.
I know.
Like, that's what I just
That's the vision I had in my head. Picking up my 5-year-old son after he fell and hurt himself after, of course, he did something I told him not to. That's how it goes. Having that group of like-minded individuals makes the persistence easier, like so much easier. Because when I first started my online business, I kept my cards close to my chest. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my family. The only people that knew was Mark and my wife. And now I scream it. It's like, yes, I am doing this. You can say whatever you want because it's not going to matter because I've already reached goal number 1 that I wanted to hit. Now I'm going for goal number 2. And as soon as I hit goal number 12, that's when they're all going to come back and ask me, how did you do this? It's true.
And it happens. It constantly happens. I've had people that hated on me at the beginning, and then they've come back at me and be like, how did you do what you did? Be like, that's cool, man. You can read my book when I finish writing it. Just one of those things, man. Like, you don't let those people in your space, no matter how bad they want it and everything like that. You have to prioritize you. And this, like, I constantly say this. There's a reason why in the airplanes they say put on your face mask before you help anybody else. You should always have some type of selfishness towards yourself, your goals, your future, because your goals most likely won't be selfish. They'll be, in some type of way helping other people around you, at least the people that matter to you the most. And like my goals are like being able to impact millions of people and I see every single day basic. Like that's my goals. But I don't prioritize other people's thoughts and feelings towards that. So it just, along those lines, you just have to stay focused where you're going, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, all of this is all great. It's all, yes, planning. Okay, I understand that. Oh yeah, priority, practice, persistence. And what we are talking about is very understandable. But in order to actually do it and put it into practice and reach goals that you want to hit, you got to have the right mindset. Have to.
Yeah.
Because if you're not a goal setter and you're not willing to do whatever it takes to reach that goal, this system isn't going to work for you.
Yeah,
it's just
even
not.
Before that, like if you don't believe you can, if you personally do not believe you can, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah. Who said it? Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or can't, you're right. And it just starts with the mind.
It does.
Beautiful.
Well, you've quoted Henry Ford 2 weeks in a row, man.
Sorry. I'll get a new guy for next week. I did have some
he's just moving around. It's cool, man. I just know you don't drive a Ford, so I just
I won't get into my opinions of vehicles.
But Rene's so right, guys. Like, you have to get the mind right before anything else. And unless you get the mind locked, you're not going to take the actions that needed. You're not going to persevere. You're not going to do all those other things. So you get those energy levels. Surround yourself with the people that are going to support you and aren't going to push you to where you want to be and help you towards that. Cheer you on. Be those cheerleaders. But most of all, be your number one cheerleader. You have to be your number one cheerleader because you can't always be counting on other people to cheer you along. You have to always, every single day, cheer you along.
Yeah, but it is nice to celebrate with a bunch of people your wins because it's nice to win, but it's nice to win in front of a crowd.
1000%.
Little self celebrations aren't as fun as in front of a group of people.
I mean, I'm a pretty good time, but yeah, like when other people are around, you get their energy flowing as well, right? The more energy, it just becomes that much up to that next level, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome, man. Was there any other thoughts that you wanted to hit this up before we wrap up?
That's basically it as far as the 4 pillars. I mean, there is a whole section that I left out on purpose because that's a whole other podcast on its own. And that is a format for planning, because the planning is the most important. So I've mostly Mark's inspiration. I've created this, I don't even have a name for it yet, but it's my method of creating that plan. So
you see what just happened?
Suspense. Ding, ding, ding.
That was foreshadowing. That means you have to subscribe. That means you need to tune in for more episodes.
Yeah, if you subscribe, it'll come to you. And maybe, hey, who knows? Maybe I'll make a little PDF or something and just give it out to whoever wants it. And I mean, that's huge value right there.
That's awesome,
Right on.
guys. But anyways, thank you very much for tuning in. Leave us a review. Tell us how much you love how good Rene looked today. Because I mean, like, he's styling and profiling Canadian on presentableness. I don't know, on display. That's the word I was looking for. We will see you next week. We'll have some more fun.
Okay, take care, guys.
Thanks for tuning into the Online Entrepreneur Experience. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes that we're releasing and any of these amazing pieces of value that we're giving out. And if you could take the time out of your day and leave us a review, we'd be so grateful. We look forward to seeing you on that next episode.